Welcome to episode 2 of How to Grow Your Business with a Podcast. Very excited for this episode because I'm going to start sharing with you what I call my payday model, which is the whole system that I use and all of my clients use to have ongoing marketing all the time in a super easy way. So all you have to do is show up for maybe a couple hours a month and you get all the marketing that you need. So the first thing we're going to start with is, how do you create topics that people actually want to listen to? So does this sound familiar where you're like, I know I should be marketing more and I just don't know what works, right? I keep doing things and I'm not really sure if they're working, and I don't want to spend all day creating content, and I really want clients, but I don't want marketing to take over my life. Does that all sound familiar to you guys? I totally get it. I have worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and they all tell me these same exact things. I want to grow my business, but I don't want marketing to take over my life. Here's the truth. Sometimes, most of the time, you don't need more marketing. You need a marketing system. So one of the things we tend to do is we're like, I need to do more marketing. I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to do more. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things and then repurposing those things. So you don't really have a content problem, you've got a strategy problem and a systems problem. And that's what I've really been working on with all of my clients with this payday model. And I'm so excited to be able to kind of share that with you now and share it in my course, my Podcast to Payday course, where you can learn how to do all of this yourself without having to hire someone like me. So I built this payday model because I've heard all of these entrepreneurs saying, I know I need to do more marketing. I just don't want it to be overwhelmed, right? Don't want to be overwhelmed. I feel like I'm on this content hamster wheel all the time. I know I should be creating it. I don't know if it's working. You're posting, maybe on social media, you're chasing every trend, but you're still not getting any traction. And so what happens is people throw content at the problem as opposed to strategy and systems. And that's what the payday model solves. So there's multiple pieces to the payday model, one for each letter of the word payday. So the first P is all about picking a topic that your audience actually needs. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's podcast. Next, we have A, which is audio and video recorded once. Then Y, which is your transcript goes into Page. And Page is my proprietary AI engine that helps you to repurpose all of your content. I cannot wait to share her with you. She has been my best kept secret over the last few months, and I'm so excited to share. That'll be coming up in a few episodes. D is distribute across every platform. Then A is to amplify what's working and cut what's not. And then the final step is Y, your influence is going to grow and your revenue is going to grow. And this isn't just a checklist that you do once. This is an ongoing cycle that you follow on a regular basis that helps you to create consistent content and grow your revenue. So the first piece of this, the first P, is how do you pick a topic that people actually want to listen to? And there's an art to this, and I want to kind of talk about the psychology that you want to think about when creating topic ideas for whether it's a talk, a podcast, a seminar, anything like that. So often what we'll do is we'll sit down and we'll say, okay, I need to do some sort of content. So what do I want to talk about today? And if this is where your content starts, it's generally because you don't have a marketing plan. You always want to go back to your marketing plan first, or you're just going to be stressed out because you're going to have this blank piece of paper. Your camera's going to be looking at you and you're not going to know what you're supposed to be talking about. So you always want to have a really strong strategy first. If you don't have a strong marketing strategy, you can work with somebody like me. What we're going to do is we're going to say, here's the audience you're working with. Here's what makes you different. And here's the things that they know that they need that you can help to support them with, because you need to talk to people from where they are right now, right? What are the things that they're struggling with the most? And so it always starts with who you're talking to. So not just what, but who you're talking to. So understanding them really deeply. What are they struggling with? Not only what are they struggling with, but what problem do they know they have that they're willing to get off their couch and their wallet? I'm going to say that again. What problem do they know they have that they're willing to get off their couch and their wallet? And I see this with a lot of small businesses, especially my coaches out there. I love all of you, but you tend to think like, hey, if they just did this, this, and this, then everything would be better. And I get it. I have thought that as well. But if you start a conversation with someone with, hey, you just need to do this, this, and this, they might not be ready to hear that. What they're ready to hear is, are you in pain in this way? I can help. So instead of getting to the solution, the what of what you're going to offer them, think about what the pain is that they know that they have first. So let's use weight loss as an example. So if you go to someone and you say, stop eating sugar and you're going to lose weight, right? That is probably what you're going to teach people if you are a weight loss specialist, right? One of the things you might teach them. However, that's not what they're feeling right now, right? The person who's going to come to you, they're going to say, I don't feel confident. I'm scared bikini season's coming. I don't like the way I feel in my body. So you want to talk to them from the perspective of where they are now. Then when you start working with them, then you can tell them the things that they're going to need to do to get there. But you want to show that you understand where they are right now. And then you also have to understand, where do they go to understand, to find answers to those problems. So do they go, to social media? Do they, read magazines? And that's going to help you to define what your marketing strategy is. Oftentimes we try to find interesting topics, right? Things that are maybe something that's very unique. I see people do that a lot. Like, I have to say something unique. And it's not necessarily that you need to say something unique or cool or something that's really interesting to you. You want to have all of your content be extremely strategic on what your audience is already searching for. So what are the key terms that they're searching for based on the current pain that they have right now? And then create content that builds authority and drives business when they're searching for that in particular. And that's going to lead you to episodes that are naturally going to be found through Google, through AI, right? Through all of the places that people search. You don't want to just have sort of random ideas like, hey, let's talk about, I don't know, whatever, right? Maybe it's me talking about happiness. I think happiness is very important, but it's not part of my business strategy because I don't have a product that's going to help you talk about happiness. So you want to make sure that all of your topics are very laser focused. Sometimes this means that you are going to be saying the same thing over and over and over again, or you're going to feel like you're saying the same thing over and over and over again. I have thought that about 5 times since I've started this podcast recording today, and that's okay. People need to hear your message over and over again. You will get sick of it well before they do, and that's okay. So let's talk a little bit about the filters that you should put your topic ideas through. So the first question is, does my audience have this problem right now? Because if they don't have that problem right now, then they're not going to be willing to get off their couch and their wallet to solve it. And you need people who are willing to take action and hit that buy button on your website. The second thing is, are they actively searching for a solution? So is this something that they're out Googling, trying to figure out what to do, or asking their friends, or looking for articles about, or is it something that they're actively looking for? And does this connect to something that I offer right now? Sometimes we've got things that we want to do in the future, or, old products. Again, this is sometimes where we get a little bit sick of hearing ourselves talk, but this is where the real magic of growing your business happens. When you have a product that you can continue to market on an ongoing basis until you get real market penetration, that takes a long time. And so it's okay to have a topic that connects to an offer and have that same offer every time, because people need to hear your message over and over and over again, and that's totally okay. So what is the offer that you're going to send people to? And will this build authority for me in the space that I want to grow in? So again, me talking about, let's say, happiness, that would be great. Again, a great topic. Is it going to build authority for me in the world of, strategic content creation and growing your business with marketing? No. So it doesn't make any sense for me to do. So those are the filters that I want you to think about when you're creating content. So here's how to find some of those strategic topics. So the first one is your clients. So what are the questions that they're asking over and over and over again? And this is one of my favorite tips is I keep a notebook on my desk, or I will keep my Trello board up on my desk. And as I'm in client meetings and they're asking me questions, I write the questions down. Then at the end of the week or the end of the month, whenever I'm going to sit down to write new content, I look through all of the questions that they've asked and I say, okay, what are the things that people are asking most frequently? Now, you can also do this with AI now. You can use, I use Fathom to take notes. Sometimes I use Otter. You can dump all of those notes into something like Notebook LM and say, here's all of my meetings over the last, few weeks. What are some of the themes that are coming up that I should use as topics? And that's a great way to do it. So look to your customers. They are the ones who have bought from you to help them solve problems. They're going to know the problems that you solve best. Sales calls. What are the things that people are asking you in sales calls? What are objections that you're hearing that you can then maybe create some content around? Look to your industry. What are some of the trends that are going on? What's confusing? Search and social, right? What is your audience typing into Google? What are they typing into YouTube? These are things that you can research. Again, AI is has some great tools to be able to find this. And the next thing is looking towards your offer. So what are some of the things that people might not understand about your offer, and how do you create a topic that's something that they're interested in and that that you can solve with your offer, but maybe you haven't explained it in the right way. So here's one of the biggest mistakes I see people doing is picking topics on what you want to talk about instead of what your audience needs to hear. And this kind of goes back to that weight loss example I gave earlier, where, you can give an example of, hey, here's all the different ways that you could lose weight, let's say. I would tell you instead to talk to them from where they are now. What's the emotion that they're feeling now? And talk to them starting there. Then you can share how they can fix that problem. But you want to do topics that are not about, hey, let me make sure that you know how to change your behavior now, but from a place of emotion. What are people searching for? What are they feeling? Because your podcast ultimately isn't about you, right? It's about the person listening and what they need to know to want to purchase from you. All right, a few key takeaways. So topics aren't creative decisions, they're business decisions. So you want to think, how will this topic drive towards one of my products? You want to always start with the who, not with the what. You want to run every idea through those topic filters that I shared with you earlier. And your best content ideas are already inside of your business. They are around you all day long as you're talking to people. So look to your clients, look to your sales meetings, and then always strategy before content. So I'm so excited to share the rest of this payday model with you over the next couple episodes. Next time, we're going to talk about the A in payday, and that is recording your audio and your video all at once. And this is where the beginning of the magic happens. We create one recording and then we repurpose that so that you can be in all different types of places. And so I'm super excited to share that with you in the next episode. And if you're like, I'm totally bought in with this idea of creating one piece of content and being able to repurpose it in all sorts of other places, I have a course for you. It's called the Podcast to Payday, and it's an incredible 12 module course where I walk you through step by step everything you need to do to start and DIY your own podcast that you can use for content that will grow your entire business. So head over to my website, sherrysutton.com, and you can look for the course. Again, it's called Podcast to Payday. People are going crazy for this course. It truly will revolutionize the way you do marketing. And we'll see you next time.